The film opens with a crew of men dressed in black pulling up near a bank with their driver at the wheel. As the others calmly head inside, the driver plays his favorite track and sinks into the rhythm, seemingly lost in his own world of music, unaware of the armed robbery unfolding behind the glass doors. When a police cruiser rolls past, he snaps back to reality, straightens his posture, and masks his distraction. Moments later, the alarm blares. The crew rushes out, piling back into the car, and the getaway begins. Behind the wheel is Baby, whose driving skills are nothing short of extraordinary. One by one, he shakes off the pursuing squad cars, wrecking them with precision maneuvers. With a perfectly timed diversion, he even manages to throw a police helicopter off their trail, slipping into a side route until they disappear. At a safe spot, the crew scatters on foot, vanishing before law enforcement can pin them down. Hours later, Baby strolls through the city in high spirits, stopping at a cafe to pick up 4 cups of coffee. He catches sight of a girl who seems to mirror something in himself. Tempted to follow her, he hesitates. Fear of being recognized outweighs his curiosity, and he forces himself to move on. Returning to the safe house, he hands out the coffees and slides into his usual corner, cool and collected. Griff tries to provoke him, mocking Baby's silence and air of superiority, but Baby doesn't flinch. He sits steady, unbothered. Doc, in the middle of dividing $500,000 evenly among the 5 of them, tells Griff to leave the driver alone. Each man takes his cut and exits through the elevator. At the end, Doc places both his own share and Baby's into his car, but hands Baby only a $10,000 bundle as payment. He swaps out Baby's phone and instructs him to wait for a call about the next and final job. Why Baby lets Doc keep the rest remains a mystery, for now. That night, as news broadcasts replay footage of the bank heist, Baby quietly cooks dinner for Joseph, his deaf foster father and roommate. He hides the cash away. Joseph presses him about where the money comes from, but Baby dodges the question. Through sign language, he assures Joseph there's just one last job, and then he's done for good. Joseph, who sees him as a sensitive young man, urges him to stay out of crime altogether. In his free time, Baby records and mixes sounds into music. He turns fragments of his crew's conversations into tracks, adding them to his growing collection. Old tapes of his mother bring back painful memories of the accident that claimed her life. One afternoon, waiting at his usual cafe, he runs into the girl again, the one from earlier. This time, he lingers, recording a snippet of her voice to use in his music, only to realize she works there. She's just been hired.
Her name is Deborah. She's warm, disarmingly open, and they talk with ease. When she learns he's a driver, always on the road, she admits she envies the freedom of his lifestyle. He asks about the song she had been humming, buys the cassette, and later plays it all day with Joseph. Baby's near-obsessive need for music isolates him from most people, but with Joseph, who hears nothing, he feels at peace. The phone rings again, and again, until Baby finally answers. Doc is on the line, telling him about a big new job and ordering him to the meeting point. At the hideout, Doc introduces the new crew: Eddie, No-Nose, JD, and Bats, partners for the upcoming score. Doc explains Baby's unusual condition. Ever since an accident in childhood, a constant ringing plagues his ears, so he drowns it out with music. Bats is skeptical, questioning Baby's reliability, but Doc defends him. For years, Baby has been Doc's most trusted driver, flawless in every heist. Doc recalls the day he caught Baby trying to steal his Mercedes. Instead of punishing him, he recognized his talent and took him under his wing. In exchange for sparing his life, Baby owed Doc 23 successful jobs, each one flawlessly delivered. Doc lays out the heist plan in painstaking detail while Baby sits, earbuds in. Suspicious, Bats demands proof he was even listening. Without missing a beat, Baby repeats the entire plan word for word, like a morning news anchor, leaving the gang stunned. The next morning, right at 8:30, the armored car robbery begins. Baby does his parts, but the job takes a turn when one of the guards is shot dead. The violence shakes him, and in the chaos, he crashes into a pursuing officer. The guard, relentless like a fly buzzing around, refuses to back off. Baby prevents the others from killing him and eventually manages to shake him off without bloodshed. After a successful vehicle swap, the crew escapes to safety. JD has left his shotgun behind. A huge mistake, yet the job itself goes off without a hitch. Baby slips away again to fetch coffee for the crew, but this time he's not in the same buoyant mood. Someone was killed. It turns out JD didn't survive his error. Bats finished him off. Doc thanks Baby for his years of service and tells him the work is done, that he can celebrate once they dispose of the car with JD's body inside. Baby drives the corpse to a salvage yard and, with cold efficiency, feeds the body into the crusher so JD can be reduced to memory. While he watches the machine, painful recollections of the accident replay in his head. Flashes that trace back to how his father's violence and tension tore the family apart and set those tragedies in motion. In that garage, Baby leaves behind everything connected to Doc. The debts, the obligations, the past, and for a moment he feels free, unburdened. He goes to the restaurant where Deborah works and tells her the good news. He's free.
She's delighted. Over his usual coffee, Deborah joins him and they talk about music. She's curious about his family, and Baby grows uncomfortable under her questions. He agrees to help her with some everyday errands, and together they listen to a song that somehow seems made for them. He tells her how, after the crash that killed his parents, he was left an orphan and now lives with his death guardian. The mood in the restaurant turns intoxicatingly romantic. At any moment, either of them could lose control and kiss. They plan another meeting for the following week. Baby goes home happy, hides the last bundle of stolen money, and promises Joseph he'll quit the dangerous life for good. To prove he's changed, he agrees to take a nearby job as a pizza delivery driver. Things go well. Baby even earns decent money on the new route, much to Joseph's relief. The night of his date arrives. Baby shows up looking charming and attentive, and the date goes perfectly, until Doc appears. Baby apologizes and walks over to him. Doc isn't convinced Baby really intends to quit. He calls Baby his good luck charm and says he can't risk pulling off the next job without him. Doc makes it clear, if Baby cares about Joseph and Deborah, if he doesn't want their lives put at risk, he must keep working with them. This time, Doc promises Baby will get an equal share. Reluctantly, and only to protect the people he loves, Baby agrees, even though he's morally opposed to the violence. After dropping Deborah at her home, Baby asks to meet again the next day. The following morning, Doc takes Baby and his nephew near the central postal hub so they can scope out the building security, count cameras, and note the guards. This is their next and final job. To them, it's the whole cake. Baby feels unfocused and can't perform like he used to, so Sam covers for him. The attendant treats them kindly and gives them the intel they need, impressing Baby. After passing the information to Doc, he drives Baby back to the old house and promises him a new home once the job is done. Baby calls Deborah to cancel their date. He asks to drive again, despite his heart being elsewhere. He dreams of fleeing the city with Deborah, of leaving everything behind for a new life together. Deborah, already smitten, instantly agrees to run with him. At Doc's safe house, a last meeting is underway with a carefully chosen team for the final heist. Baby is there by obligation. Tension simmers between Bats and Buddy. They don't get along, but Buddy greets Baby warmly, and the two listen to their favorite song together. Buddy trusts Baby's driving implicitly. Bats remains suspicious. Doc opens the meeting properly, and everyone focuses on the plan. This time, the target is a postal center that holds bundles of cash.
Doc reveals specialized gear to evade CCTV and detection, and instructs the crew to collect untraceable weapons from his trusted contacts. The rendezvous is set. Doc's team must meet tonight at the old warehouse to pick up the kit. He also orders everyone to return to the safe house after collecting their equipment, because the operation will strike at dawn. Two people in the crew are unsettled by the situation. The first is Baby, torn up over breaking his date with Deborah. The second is Bats, who's beginning to suspect that Baby will become a liability. On the way to pick up the weapons, Baby stops near a store. While Bats is out of the car, Darling whispers to Buddy, urging him to kill Bats once the heist is done. Wherever Bats goes, bodies always seem to fall. Soon they enter a warehouse to make the exchange, with Baby reluctantly tagging along. Bats recognizes one of the traffickers but chooses not to push it. A short man unveils the untraceable weapons, the tools for dirty work. Then, in a shocking burst, Bats opens fire, gunning down the traffickers. With Darling and Buddy's help, They massacre the whole group. Bats justifies it by claiming the dealers were cops, pointing to a crate of weapons and recognizing one officer who arrested him back in '98. Baby, unskilled with guns, nearly loses his life in the crossfire. He's nothing more than a hostage, forced to obey these killers. Later, Deborah spots Baby sitting with the gang and is stunned. Nervous, she approaches their table. When Bats picks a fight with her, ready to kill her over a trivial remark, Baby steps in firmly, stopping him, his resolve hardening. Afterward, as the crew leaves, Baby quietly slips a tip and a note on the table, giving Deborah the time of their next secret meeting. When Doc learns his contacts have been slaughtered, he demands answers. That spins his story, insisting the traffickers were police. Doc reminds him those cops were his trusted connections. Bats shrugs it off, saying they fired first. Baby has no choice but to back him up. Bats knows about Deborah and threatens to use her as leverage. Doc considers scrapping the plan entirely, knowing every cop in the city will soon be on alert. But Bats presses forward, and with Baby's reluctant confirmation, so influential to Doc, the heist is moved up. They'll strike hours earlier, then scatter into the wind. Baby has secretly recorded everything. That night, with the others asleep, he tries to slip out to meet Deborah, but Buddy stops him. Moments later, Bats joins in, suspicious and wide awake. They demand to know about the recordings. Baby insists he only samples sounds to make music, but Bats scoffs. Doc has him dragged in. They dump out his bag of tapes. Baby's heart sinks when he sees Bats wheeling Joseph's chair in. His guardian has been found. Coldly, Doc orders him to play the tapes. Baby obeys, and the recordings prove his innocence. Just remixed conversations, no police collusion.
Doc, still mistrustful, wants to cut him loose and find another driver. Baby pleads, vowing he's no snitch and that he'll see the final job through behind the wheel. His life is spared, but he misses his midnight meeting with Deborah. One of the tapes of Deborah's voice plays, and now the whole crew knows about her. The unspoken warning hangs in the air. If she dies, Baby dies inside. The day of the heist arrives. The team moves into the postal center, one by one. Baby drops Bats off and waits out back. Through the window, he spots the kind postal clerk he'd met before and gestures frantically for him to leave. The warning sparks chaos. A guard is shot. Finally, Baby takes matters into his own hands. In a brutal, decisive move, he eliminates the true source of all this bloodshed, Bats, and sabotages the plan single-handedly. Buddy and Darling are furious. With the job ruined, they're surrounded, forced into a gunfight with the police. Baby seizes the chance and bolts, running at full speed as the others chase him. The police join the pursuit, but Baby uses quick thinking and a change of clothes to slip through confusion. At a store parking garage, he hijacks a car in seconds and speeds off. For a moment, it works, until fate throws him headlong into Buddy and Darling's car. A violent clash follows, leaving Darling dead. Buddy, devastated, blames Baby for everything. Baby escapes the wreck, dodging Buddy's wrath. He commandeers an elderly woman's car, politely apologizing and handing her bag back before roaring off with the vehicle. When he finally makes it home, he finds devastation waiting. Joseph, battered and barely alive, struggling to move. After hiding the cash inside Joseph's clothing, Baby helps him out of the building, slipping past the police traps. Moments later, Baby drops Joseph near a senior care facility. With a heavy heart, he records an introduction and Joseph's personal notes on a voice recorder, bidding him farewell before driving off into the night. He heads straight to Deborah's workplace, but as he arrives with the bag, Buddy is already waiting. Having lost his beloved Darling, he has nothing left to lose, and his only mission now is vengeance.
Before Buddy can strike, a police officer enters to use the restroom, delaying the execution and buying Baby and Deborah a few precious moments to plan their escape from this relentless killer. Baby turns to Doc for help. At first, Doc dismisses him. After all, nearly every cop in the city is hunting Baby. But once Baby and Deborah return to his hideout, Doc has a change of heart. For the first time, he chooses compassion over profit. In the elevator, he hands Baby a stack of money, urging him to take Deborah across the border. The police will be after them for years, but at least together they might stand a chance. Doc then holds off the furious traffickers, buying them time. In the end, he's gunned down, meeting the fate he always had coming.
Yet, in his final act, he redeems himself, helping Baby and Deborah slip away. Their freedom is short-lived. Buddy resurfaces, having stolen a police car, and crashes into them for revenge. In a daring maneuver, Baby slams Buddy's vehicle into a wall, but the man refuses to die. The chase escalates, cars colliding in a deadly ballet. For a brief moment, Baby breaks free, only for Buddy's voice to thunder over a stolen police loudspeaker, vowing that there will be no escape. This time, Baby rams into him with a massive truck, sending Buddy's car plunging into the lower levels of the garage. Buddy falls into the pit below, ending the nightmare. Minutes later, Baby regains consciousness. He finds himself with Deborah, driving along an open road with music flowing, just like the dreams that once kept him going. But the vision shatters as flashing police lights close in. Reality has come. It's time to face the law. Baby surrenders. In the final sequence, we see him transferred to prison and standing trial. Because of his good behavior and the fact that he prevented several murders, the court grants leniency. His sentence is reduced, and after serving 5 years with parole, he is finally released. Through it all, Deborah stays by his side,